Tasha was filming casually around her living room, showing her viewers the cozy space she'd recently purchased. The clip begins calmly, the camera panning across the room with warm lighting before she starts walking toward the door that separates the living room from the hallway.
See, and you think I'm crazy. The first time I'm here by myself, there's a picture on the floor, and it just...
She points out the picture that fell on the floor, and then, just as she's about to turn the camera away, the translucent glass door in front of her creaks open slightly on its own, holding there for a few seconds before slamming shut with force. The sound echoes through the room, startling her so badly that she gasps and immediately runs for her life. This is when the clip cuts off entirely. She later said she was completely alone in the house at the time and hadn't experienced anything like it before. Whatever caused that door to move had to have been something unseen, something powerful enough to make her run without looking back. In her follow-up video, Tasha responds to a comment that reads, "I feel like there's a hole in the wall. That's where it's coming from." Wanting to prove there was no hidden space or trick behind what happened, she took her camera to the kitchen and began showing every corner in detail. She moved the lens slowly across the walls, the counters, and the door frames, tapping at the drywall to show it was solid. There were no cracks, no holes, nothing even close to what some people suggested could be behind the strange movement of the door. She even opened a few cabinets to show that they didn't connect anywhere, and that the area behind the wall was just insulation and wood. After the video ended, she swore it happened again. The door slammed. But that's for you to decide whether you believe it or not. A few days after Tasha's eerie encounters, she finally decided to call in investigators to get some real answers. 2 men arrived at her home and spent several hours there, scanning each room with their equipment, asking questions, and trying to make contact with whatever was inside.
I would like to speak to us. Can you say hi? Hi.
Well, hi.
Hi.
So we're gonna go another room.
Hi.
Hi. Wow.
I'd like to knock books over. Can you say hi? Mommy. Mommy.
Are you trying to find your mommy?
Are you looking for mommy? Yes.
Yes. I am nowhere even near it, and it's going off like crazy.
Yeah, it's...
So,
I definitely feel something else. Whoa, look at the EMF.
Yeah.
In the hall? In the hall.
Okay.
Well, that is where my dog gets scared.
Right.
So,
We're going to the
Let's
hall.
go check the hall.
So here.
You wanted us to come to the hall? Want to say hi? What the heck?
Is that you?
Greg, is that you? As you could tell. Was that you, Greg?
As one of them asked the spirit to say something if it was present, a small, childlike voice could be heard from nowhere, saying the word, "Mommy." The men froze for a moment before one asked gently, "Are you looking for your mommy?" And again, the same soft voice replied, "Yes." It was clear and distinct enough to be caught on their recorders. Following the faint responses, they slowly moved toward the hallway, where one of the investigators said he felt a sudden chill. Seconds later, a framed photo resting on a counter tipped forward and fell. That was enough for them. They confirmed the presence of a spirit and told Tasha they'd be back soon to perform a cleansing to help the lost voice finally move on. Subscribe because I'll include that in another video if they post it. The video starts mid-chaos, the camera shaky, as a man and woman both sound audibly distressed. The focus quickly lands on a closet door in front of them, as it's rattling violently, the door shaking aggressively, as if something is trapped inside trying to get out. The woman can be heard saying that the doors are brand new, installed only a week ago, making the whole thing even more unnerving.
Honey, what is that?
Oh
Hey
my
God!
God.
Oh my God!
Okay,
Oh my
okay.
God! Oh my God!
I'm gonna go look.
These are the new closet doors, guys. The new closet doors that we just installed. Oh my God! Okay.
I'm gonna look.
Nothing. Nothing in the closet. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Be careful.
Okay, no.
Okay, so clearly installing these doors. As you guys can see, we're still dealing with whatever is in our bedroom closet. I don't know, but freaked right out. Look at the dog. She's like, what the hell?
The man slowly approaches, trying to calm both of them down as the shaking continues, then grips the door and pulls it wider. The moment he does, everything stops. The door swings wide to reveal nothing but neatly hung clothes and shelves, completely untouched. To be sure, he even steps to the other side and checks behind it, but there's still nothing there. The clip cuts shortly after, the atmosphere thick with fear and confusion, and I'm asking you guys what you think the couple should do next, so let me know in the comments. A mother and her daughter had taken their night vision camera out late one evening, hoping to film the quiet countryside near their home. What they caught instead has left them, and everyone who's seen it, deeply unsettled.
Okay. Don't move in there. No, there's a motorcycle. Okay.
I don't see nothing down there. Can't be the motorcycles, honey. There's another sparkle. You see what I'm
What's
saying?
that? What is that?
Tree.
No. You moved it, right? Right there. See it?
Uh-huh.
Look.
There's nobody there. Where? I can't see.
Look. Isn't it those people?
Can't be.
There's nobody
Not up in the
there.
trees.
There's nobody down there no more. See?
As they scanned across a wide, open field, faint movement could be seen in the distance. The shapes weren't solid or human. They drifted across the grass like translucent figures made of mist, slow and deliberate, almost aware they were being watched. The mother and daughter were whispering between themselves, their voices trembling as they tried to focus the camera. The air was completely still, no fog, no wind, yet these forms moved as if they had purpose, gliding from one side of the field to the other before fading away completely. After the clip ends, she explains that the land once belonged to an old farmhouse that burned down decades ago, taking with it the family who lived there. Many now believe what they saw that night were the lingering spirits of those who never left the field where their home once stood. Caitlin had been trying to fall asleep when the first noise startled her awake. It was the unmistakable sound of a door opening and slamming somewhere in her house. Groggy but tense, she grabbed her phone and started recording, determined to catch whatever was happening. As she walked downstairs, the noises continued, echoing through the hallway like heavy footsteps, or doors being forced shut over and over again. The occasional dragging sound echoed too. She called out softly, but no one answered. The moment she reached the bottom of the stairs, a loud thud echoed from deeper inside the house, startling her enough to sprint back upstairs to her room. Breathing heavily, she shut the door behind her and then jumped into bed, where she could get some level of comfort. The sounds seemed to follow, faint, slow, and deliberate, growing closer until they stopped just outside her room. Then, silence. The clip cuts there, leaving only the tension of what might come next. Caitlin has since admitted she's been trying to find ways to solve her problem, whether through spiritual cleansing or getting someone to investigate her house. But for now, she's just hoping the noises don't return. The next video picks up just a day after the last one, and Caitlin's horrors have far from stopped. She's in bed again, her phone recording from the covers, the only light coming from her bedside lamp. The sound of footsteps begins really loudly as slow, deliberate stomps echo up the staircase. Each one gets heavier, closer, until they stop right outside her door. There's a long pause, just the sound of her shaky breathing. Then the handle on her bedroom door starts to rattle violently, as if someone is trying to force their way in. The handle suddenly stops, and for a few seconds, everything is silent. Then, the door creaks open slowly on its own, revealing an empty hallway. Before she can even react, it slams shut again with a force that shakes the camera. The video cuts abruptly after that moment, and Caitlin later explains that she's been looking into how to sell the house altogether, saying she doesn't care what it takes, she just wants out before things get any worse. Jackson had been home alone for most of the evening when a series of rhythmic bangs started echoing from downstairs. At first, he ignored them, thinking it might just be the pipes or the wind outside. But the knocks were too deliberate and evenly spaced, and always coming from the same direction. He grabbed his phone and began recording as he made his way down the staircase, each step creaking beneath him while the knocking continued from the storage room at the back of the house. When he reached the door, the sound stopped. He hesitated for a moment, then slowly turned the handle and pushed it open. The room was still, and nothing looked out of place. Cautiously, he stepped inside, scanning every corner, just as he whispered to himself that it must have been nothing. A miscellaneous box shifted, sliding forward ever so slightly on its own. Jackson froze, breathing hard, before backing out of the room without saying a word. The clip ends there, leaving viewers convinced whatever's inside that storage room isn't done trying to make itself known. Anderson, a member of the US Air Force, had been away from home for some time and was counting down the days until he could reunite with his wife. Late one night, he sent her a purple snap, telling her he'd be home just in time to help prepare for Halloween. His tone carried a tired weight to it, as if the long days and quiet nights were beginning to wear him down. Not long after, he paused mid-recording, and the reason why is shocking.
This literally gave me the chills after sending my wife a Snapchat.
At least I'll be home, and so we can prepare for Halloween. But yeah, there's that. Anyway, I just had to check this email real quick. So I'll be home in a sec, but I love you crazy.
He left the camera and got up to check, but when he passed the door frame, there was nothing waiting for him. No footsteps, no figures, nothing out of place. However, viewers watching closely noticed something he didn't. Just above the door frame, a small shadow seemed to move on its own. It was subtle, almost too quick to catch, but it drifted in a way that looked undeniably ghostly. Anderson never mentioned it himself, likely unaware of what had been captured, but the comments quickly filled with people insisting he wasn't as alone as he thought. For a man who already seemed worn down, this haunting detail made his night even heavier. The following evening, Anderson sent his wife another snap, trying to keep their usual rhythm of communication despite the distance. He told her he hoped to be home before 4:30, his voice a little lighter than before, though the isolation still lingered in his tone. As he spoke, something unexpected happened.
This literally gave me the chills after sending my wife a Snapchat.
But I should be getting out of here a little bit before 4:30, hopefully. And I think I'll do something. That ain't it. I think it's lunchtime, actually. I need a pump jack. I'm going to lunch though.
The mug sitting beside him on the table shifted slightly, sliding in a way that no vibration or small movement could explain. This time, Anderson noticed it. His demeanor changed instantly, and he stopped mid-sentence, eyes locked on the cup, like he wasn't sure whether to believe what he'd just seen. Determined to show it wasn't some trick, he shut down his computer and lifted the mug to the camera and turned it to prove there were no wires, no strings, nothing attached. For a man trained to keep composure under stress, the unease in his voice was clear as he quickly wrapped up the recording. The video ends with him saying little more, just cutting it short and leaving the room as though he didn't want to spend another second there. It left viewers convinced the quiet space around him wasn't so empty after all. The CCTV camera in the kitchen was meant to keep an eye on the pets overnight, but what it recorded instead left the owners unsettled. The footage begins just before midnight when the family's cat casually wanders into the room, padding its way toward the kitchen table.
Watch the cat. After he walks in, a shadow figure follows.
The animal crouches slightly and slips halfway underneath the table like it's noticed something strange. Just seconds later, a faint, misty shadow, shaped almost like a human form, drifts across the room, following behind the cat's movements. The figure is translucent, easy to miss at first glance, but once noticed, it becomes the only thing your eyes can focus on. The cat doesn't react in any way. The clip ends without further incident, but the unsettling image of that misty silhouette trailing the animal has left people wondering. Was it a protective spirit, a curious presence, or something darker just passing through? Whatever the case, it wasn't the kind of midnight visitor anyone would want in their home. Just a few days later, on March the 23rd, the house cameras caught something that pushed the family even closer to leaving. Unlike the previous event, this didn't happen at night, but at 11 in the morning when the sun was out and nobody was home.
This was such a great piece of evidence.
In the living room, a cabinet door slowly creaked open all on its own. After sitting ajar for a few seconds, a book suddenly dropped out from inside and landed flat on the floor, as though it had been pushed. The door never shut again, instead hanging halfway open as if to prove it wasn't just a latch slipping. The stillness of the house made the moment even creepier, since there was no one around to interact with it. When the family came back and reviewed the footage, they admitted it was the clearest sign yet that something in the home was not normal. The discussion of moving out has grown serious, and friends say they have already started looking at other houses, unwilling to keep living where the activity keeps escalating. The man who was unfortunate enough to be behind the camera sounded nervous from the very start, his voice unsteady as he explained why he was recording. He says he wants a witness because too many people have been telling him the place isn't haunted, but he insists it is, claiming he once saw the figure of a little girl standing right in front of the dollhouse in the room.
Yeah, man, I'm recording this video because I need you guys to be my witness. These people told me that this place was haunted. And I was like, no, it's not. It's not haunted. There ain't no such thing. And my dumb asses, I've been hearing shit off. Man, I'm out of my. Last time I seen the little girl, she was over there behind that little dollhouse, man. You guys gotta come with me and check this shit out. I'm scared as shit. You guys gotta be my witnesses. Dude. Get out of my man. Shit. There's nothing back there. Fuck you, man. I don't know why I agreed to do this shit. Creepy ass doll. Look at that shit. Fucking weird ass people. Dude, I'm scared as hell, man. Fucking scared as shit. Holy shit.
His breathing grows heavier as he inches closer to the dollhouse, filming every corner of the space as if bracing himself for what might appear. He even crouches down and peers behind it, but there's nothing there, just silence and his deep breathing. Relieved for a moment, he turns back toward the lamp in the corner, only for the real terror to strike. From behind a nearby cabinet, a pale figure with long, dark hair begins to emerge, drifting slowly into view. Before he can properly react, the clip cuts, leaving only the sound of his immediate reaction. The sudden ending makes it unclear what happened next, but the haunting image of that figure has left him more than frightened. Sergio had always been drawn to forgotten and ruined places, and this particular spot was nothing but rubble and bare cement walls, the kind of location most people would avoid at night. He set up a single large light to cut through the darkness of the tunnel he was exploring, the glow bouncing off cracked concrete and piles of debris. For a while, nothing unusual happened, just the stillness and his footsteps echoing softly.
Y el sótano, cómo se ve el humo. Tenemos poca densidad de aire aquí, el humo no se mueve fácilmente. Estamos en el sótano del solar. ¿Eso qué es? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¡Ey! Algo acaba de pasar por ahí. No logro ver bien. ¿Quién está ahí? ¡Ey! ¿Sí vieron? Algo pasa por ahí. ¿Quién está ahí?
Suddenly, a loud bang carried down the tunnel, sharp enough to make him freeze in place. His camera panned toward the source just in time to capture something unnerving. A shadow drifting sideways across the tunnel, gliding smoothly as if it belonged to no physical form. Sergio steadied his breath and listened, but the silence didn't last long. More noises echoed from deeper inside, scraping and shifting, as though something heavy was moving unseen. Then, almost on cue, the same shadow drifted back in the opposite direction, vanishing into the darkness like it had never been there at all. The eerie repetition and the unnatural way it moved left Sergio visibly shaken, and it was clear the longer he stayed, the more dangerous the encounter might become. Luna was standing outside an abandoned facility, recording a place that had always been known to be infected with phantoms. It was a place of nightmares, and nobody in their right mind would go there. Fortunately for us, Luna is insane. Can you see what happened?
Porque, pues obviamente mencionan de ver a esta señora caminando, sobre todo al caer la noche. Es por eso que ya los empleados no quieren venir a este lugar a esta hora. Está completamente solo el lugar. Nos dieron el permiso, nos dieron el acceso justamente para buscar la evidencia de este ser fantasmal que dicen que todavía habita en este lugar. Ahorita vamos a ingresar ahí dentro para que ustedes puedan ver, pero sí me gustaría pedir la presencia. Es algo que he estado haciendo últimamente, pedir la presencia de este ser, de los seres que ya no están en este mundo, que ya están en el más allá y que de alguna forma... Estoy escuchando ruidos allá adentro, Meli. Estoy escuchando ruidos ahí. A ver si logramos ver algo.
Through the bars, the dark interior came into view, and for a brief moment a shadow could be seen gliding across the room inside. It didn't resemble a trick of the light or a passing reflection. It had form, movement, and purpose. Luna kept the camera steady, clearly unsure of what she had just caught, and when reviewing the footage, it became even more unsettling. Something had been inside with her watching from only a few feet away, yet she never saw it at the time. The sighting sparked heavy debate online, with many agreeing that this was proof the facility wasn't empty after all. Subscribe because her adventure will continue into future videos. Donnie has been sharing clips from his home for some time now, showing viewers the strange activity that seems to follow him around. In earlier videos, he caught his lights swinging and objects moving on their own, leaving him convinced something had attached itself to the house.
The shit. Oh, what the? Off. Off. Who's here? Who's here? me. Do you see that? That should not be good. Who's going up my stairs? Hey buddy, you okay? Who's here? Are you okay? Are you okay? Holy sh... This has got to stop. Two swinging lights. I don't know what the you can't be here. You have to go. I didn't tell you to come here. So I'm the only one here. Ever since this is getting way too wild. You have to go. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. That'll be done on earth as it is in heaven. You okay, buddy? You okay? You come with Daddy. You okay? Who's here? Are you okay, buddy? You come with me. You stick with Daddy. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thine will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Are you coming? I don't want you at the top of the stairs. You come. Come on. This is your playroom. This is our playroom. Don't be scared. Come on, buddy. This is your basement. This is me in your basement. Come on. Terry, you don't gotta be scared. You come with me. Come on. You think something's down here? Come on. Come with Daddy. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You don't have to be scared. You come with me. What, someone up there? You okay? What's that look for? You look... Are you scared, buddy? You don't have to be scared. You're a good boy. You don't have to be scared. I'll pick you up. You want me to pick you up? Come here. You want to come? I'll protect you. Okay. This is his basement. You don't have... I've never seen... Why aren't you coming? Hey? You don't have to be scared. You're with me. It's holy water. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. This is the stair. Holy fuck. Forgive. You cannot stay here. You are not welcome. I did not invite you. Are you okay? You don't have to be scared. You stick with me, okay? What did you see? Did you see something? Holy shit. Did I not just close that? No, I left that open. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. That's... You gotta go. You were not invited here. You're not wanted here. Okay, I got you set up. You're pointing towards that. All right. The top of this case is where I thought I saw a shadow. And that was moving like that. I'm gonna leave this run.
In this latest video, Donnie is downstairs, recording as one of his lamps continues to shake uncontrollably. He runs toward the stairs, only to find that another light upstairs is swinging too, as if unseen hands were pushing it. Donnie raises his voice, telling the ghost it has to leave, reminding the audience that he's the only one there. When he turns back, one set of cupboards is wide open, and as he shuts them, he mutters holy phrases over and over. The camera shows how uneasy the atmosphere feels as Donnie heads down into the basement, still reciting religious phrases. He's clearly desperate to fight back against whatever is in his home. This story isn't over yet, so subscribe to my channel to see the continuation. Chris had no doubt his house was haunted after the chilling evidence he caught in a previous video, where a voice had clearly told him to get out. Determined to keep documenting, he began filming again, talking about that experience and how it had changed the way he felt about being in his own home.
You can hear that, can't you? I can. Sound like tapping. Everybody's like, oh, it's the hutch. It's the hutch.
While he was speaking, faint tapping noises began echoing around him. They were well and truly impossible to ignore. Then it happened again. the same unmistakable voice commanding him to get out. Before Chris could even react, something nearby toppled over loudly, cutting through the silence and sending him into panic. In the aftermath of the video, Chris admitted he was more unnerved than ever, convinced the spirit wasn't just trying to make itself known, but actively warning him. He's now torn between continuing to capture proof or taking the voice's message seriously and leaving for good. Martio was spending a quiet evening in his bedroom, his cats curled up beside him, when he suddenly began hearing the sound of things falling somewhere else in the house. At first, he ignored it, hoping it was nothing more than the cats knocking something over earlier, but the noises continued and grew harder to dismiss. After about 20 seconds, he decided to grab his camera and leave the bedroom to see what was happening. As he reached the kitchen, the mess was obvious, as several cups were already scattered across the floor. Just as he was taking it all in, another blue cup fell, though the camera didn't manage to catch it hitting the ground. Marcio could be heard exhaling sharply, clearly shaken by the realization that something unseen was causing the chaos. In the aftermath, he explained that he had no open windows, no pets in the kitchen, and no explanation for why multiple cups would all topple at once. He admitted that he no longer felt safe walking into that room alone and was considering setting up cameras overnight to see what else might happen when he wasn't there to witness it. On May 1st, 2020, at roughly 4:30 in the afternoon, a family's quiet day took a strange turn when their home security cameras caught something they couldn't explain. The family had installed CCTV months earlier, mainly as a precaution after a few break-ins were reported in their neighborhood. For the most part, the cameras never recorded anything out of the ordinary, just kids playing outside, the dog wandering around, or the usual comings and goings of daily life. That is why what they found on this particular recording was so disturbing. In the footage, one of the interior doors slowly swings open on its own, revealing nothing on the other side. There is no person, no pet, and no sign of anyone who could have pushed or pulled it. The incident left the family deeply unsettled. They combed through every second of the recording before and after the event, hoping to find a clue that might explain what happened, but the area behind the door remained empty the entire time. They even checked the hinges and the frame, thinking maybe a draft or uneven flooring could have caused the door to move, but everything was sturdy and intact. Neighbors who saw the clip were just as spooked, pointing out how unnaturally slow and deliberate the movement looked. Since then, the family admitted they no longer feel the same comfort in their own home, describing the experience as a reminder that sometimes the strangest things happen in broad daylight when you least expect it. C's Crazy Crossroads is a YouTube channel run by a ghost hunter with over 50,000 subscribers, known for exploring terrifying locations on his own and sharing the results with his growing audience. In one particular video, he ventured into what's become known locally as the contractor's haunted house, a place so notorious that even seasoned investigators hesitate to step inside. According to him, the energy in the building was overwhelming the moment he entered, like the walls themselves carried a heavy weight of history.
I'm shaking. I'm shaking. Oh, what the holy... That was up here in the closet. That was right here. That ball. How did it... Holy shit. How the... All right, where am I at? Because I'm not making it. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is not fun. I'm freaking out now because it seems like it's toying with me. Oh man, I'm only at 15 minutes. Oh boy. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave you there, ball. Don't mess with me. All right. So there's nobody, obviously, in this room. There's nobody in this room. Guys, there's nothing in this house other than whatever friggin' spirit. Nothing in this room.
While filming, a sudden dropping noise caught his attention. He spun around quickly and captured a basketball rolling across the floor, seemingly without any explanation. To make things even stranger, he then walked into the next room and showed viewers the closet where the ball had originally been stored. To ensure transparency, he also panned across the surrounding rooms to prove they were completely empty, ruling out the possibility of someone hiding. The video left many of his fans convinced that he had captured real paranormal activity. C himself admitted afterward that it was one of the most intense solo hunts he had ever done, and the basketball incident was only the beginning of the unsettling things he experienced there. So subscribe, so you don't miss the future ones. Tim Morozov is a ghost hunter with an impressive following of 648,000 subscribers, known for diving headfirst into some of the most unsettling places with very little hesitation. His channel has built a reputation on raw, uncut footage that leaves little room for doubt, and his subscribers love him for it. In one of his more intense uploads, he wrote in the description, "This time, I'm examining the damn house with a poltergeist. This is a terrible night." That set the tone perfectly for what was to come.
Пока никаких показаний нету. Черт возьми. А где он стоял? Ничего нет. Никаких показаний.
As Tim walked carefully through the dark house with his motion detector in hand, a sudden crash echoed through the silence. A piece of pottery had been hurled to the floor. Clearly shaken but still curious, he moved toward the room where the sound came from. The shattered pottery lay scattered on the ground, and Tim decided to test his device, pressing the motion detector directly against it. Strangely, the device didn't beep at all, suggesting that no living presence had caused the violent act. Tracy and her family had long accepted that their house was haunted, but unlike most, they believed they knew the exact source. It all centered around an antique cabinet, a piece passed down from Tracy's late grandmother. While beautiful and valuable, it carried an unsettling presence. Over time, it became clear that whenever strange activity happened in the home, the cabinet was at the center of it, with drawers opening on their own, noises echoing from it, and even sudden cold spots around where it stood. Determined to prove it,
several buildings set alight, really the worst violence that this city has seen for several months. But now it looks like it has calmed for the time being, although you can never discount that the demonstrators are not regrouping in other parts of the city ready to come back. All the while, of course, the debate rages on inside Parliament, the MPs continuing to debate with pretty high tempers, really, over this barrage of austerity and cuts which is to come in this country in return to those all vital bailout funds. We're expecting the vote on the package to come at 1 a.m. local time, that's 2300 GMT, but this is a place where deadlines come and go with remarkable speed, so I wouldn't hold your breath just yet, Fiona.
We had a demonstrator on the telephone earlier saying to us that we're showing these pictures of the violent protesters and sort of concentrating on that. She wanted to make the point that
as she filmed, one of the cabinet's drawers slowly slid open by itself, and moments later, the drawer next to it followed suit. To dismiss any claims of trickery, she circled the cabinet with her camera, showing there was nobody behind it and no strings or wires attached. For the family, this was the confirmation they needed. They had already been talking about letting the cabinet go, but given its age and value, they didn't want to simply throw it out. Instead, they've been searching for someone willing to buy it, hoping that parting with the cabinet will bring peace to their home once and for all. Until then, the cabinet remains in their possession, and with it, the unsettling activity continues. Diane had lived in her house for years without issue, but lately, she had been feeling watched, especially at night. One evening, she noticed what looked like a human shadow lingering outside her front door. Heart racing, she rushed to check, but when she opened the door, the porch was completely empty. Uneasy, she returned inside and decided to film in case it happened again.
There's literally...
Pointing the camera toward the door's frosted window, the blurred outline of a figure could clearly be seen with broad shoulders, a tall stance, and even what looked like a hat perched on its head. Gathering her courage, Diane swung the door open, but once again, there was no one there. The quiet night air was still, leaving her with more questions than answers. Convinced this was something beyond normal explanation, Diane shared the video, and many agreed it had to be paranormal. She admitted afterward that she couldn't shake the image from her mind and feared the figure might return. And the strangest part is that she feels like this might only be the beginning.
Now let's get to the Ring cameras. We have Ring cameras and cameras all around the property and in every room of the house except for our bathrooms. This is what the Ring camera shows when I walked outside, which was 9:50 at night. You'll see the timestamp in just a second. Had we deleted the video, it would not be there. It just doesn't load. We have had this issue with our Ring camera before, but then why did it catch the video after? In case you didn't see, the video after is at 10:23 at night. I initially recorded the video and sent it on Snapchat to my 8 best friends, and then Eddie, and then Joe's actually the one that was like, bro, you need to post this. And I was like, I don't know how Jared would feel about it. Now I'm gonna get into the layout of our home and where it happened and explain why certain things wouldn't work. This is the hallway during the day with maximum light. To show the lights behind me, that is gonna be our hallway to our pantry and our bathroom. This is during the daylight, so when the light would be at maximum, as well as our kitchen, maximum light as well. How long the hallway is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are big 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe. To the front door. I was zoomed in and walking fast. The front of our house where somebody would be. For them to run, where would they have to hide? It goes straight out, guts out. This way, another commercial building, it juts out. They would also have to jump down into this drop of a fence and go that way. All out front, the most someone could have done would have maybe been behind a tree, but we would still have got that on the Ring camera. Also, another Ring camera that would have caught somebody too. To debunk this, I think that the best comment I got in the comments was maybe it was somebody across the street and say someone was in the parking lot and lights were shining on them onto our door. Now that's a big light being shown. I also didn't see anybody, but that to me is the most probable cause. Now let's get to the coat rack to show why that wouldn't work. To those of you saying, oh, the coat rack's reflecting. From what light in here, at any point, you're not able to shine light on the coat rack because our walls are too deep. The coat rack is hidden in the corner. Light cannot shine on the coat rack onto the window because there are no lights here, and these lights do not reach. Too far, too dim, no light in here reaches the coat rack. It is not the coat rack, but I get why y'all would think that because there are hats on the coat rack. Now to those of you who think that we did it, which I can literally assure you we did not, this is going to be the angle from the living room where you can see that side of the door. Someone's like, oh, they're shining from in there. Well, first we'd have to be on our couch, but look at the way the reflection would be. So if I'm right here and say I'm doing this, it's still not going to reflect accurately onto the window. It's going to go beneath, and then you're going to have a line from the couch. It would have to be like a spotlight. So again, the lighting doesn't work. And please don't start with the staircase because our staircase, our ceilings are like 14-foot ceilings. It would not shine down like that without there being a reflection on the floor. I think that's everything, and I really hope this video doesn't feel rushed. I'm just in the middle of my work day, and I was like, let me go ahead and try to show everyone why this doesn't work. Comment in the comments what else you want to see, if there's anything else you want me to debunk. I still don't know what I saw, okay? A lot of you asked for the house history, house tour. The house history is fascinating. Y'all just comment what y'all want to see.
Connick had been fascinated by the idea of proving ghosts were real, and for this video, he decided to take things further by exploring a house long rumored to be haunted. Strangely enough, he even had a key to get inside, which left viewers wondering why or how he'd gotten it. Determined to document everything properly, he switched his camera into night vision and began carefully walking through the rooms.
Right, I'm gonna go check the one at house today. It's a haunted house. A bit scary. I want to prove it. I'm gonna go check it out, man. I'm gonna prove it. I should leave the door open. I should leave it open, buddy. Easier to escape. Just checking on it. I ain't sleeping here at all. Fucking scary. I'm on night vision too. Oh shit. Everything is here. Yeah. Everything is here. Holy shit. No one's in there. Hopefully. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared at all. I'm not scared. Holy shit, I'm gonna close.
For a while, nothing at all happened. Just silence, empty spaces, and the echo of his own footsteps. Eventually, though, while moving through a long hallway, a door creaked open all by itself. Instead of backing off, he boldly stepped inside, repeating out loud that he wasn't scared. The room appeared ordinary, nothing strange in sight, so he turned to walk back out. That's when it happened. A chair suddenly slid across the floor directly toward him. Startled, Konek dropped his phone and bolted out of the house, his recording ending abruptly. Donnie is a ghost hunter who has spent years chasing activity in some of the most haunted places he could find. But this time, he wondered if the danger had followed him back home. For a while, his house seemed normal, but then small. Unnerving things began to happen. He decided to film one night after noticing something strange above him.
The f*** is that shit? Oh, what the... Off. Fuck right off. Who's here? Who's here? Me. Did you see that? That should not be good. Who's going up my stairs? Hey, buddy. You okay? Who's here? Are you okay? Are you okay? Holy sh... This has got to stop.
A ceiling light began to shake on its own, swaying unnaturally, even though the air in the room was still. He flicked on the other lights in the room, but that one kept moving. Uneasy, he asked aloud who was there, hoping for a sign, but nothing responded. Trying to steady himself, he went downstairs, only to see another light fixture begin shaking in the exact same way. That was the final moment of this clip, and the clip does not end there. This story will continue, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss what happens next. Two family members were sitting together in the kitchen, talking quietly, while one of them recorded. They weren't filming for fun as they already believed this room was haunted and were waiting for something to happen. For a while, the kitchen stayed still, but then it happened.
Papu, el otro día estaba acá, viste, en la parrilla, empecé a escuchar ruidos, se movían todas las cosas, se movía todo, te lo juro. Sí existen, papi, sí existen. ¡Ah! ¡Ah! ¡Te dije que existe!
Out of nowhere, a dustpan with a long handle launched itself across the room, clattering against the floor. Both family members screamed in fear and bolted out of the kitchen immediately after the footage came to an end. A group of friends were exploring an abandoned building late at night. More for the thrill than anything else, the vibe was playful, with everyone laughing and joking as they walked around.
Shit, vad fan är det? Det är någon som håller emot. Det är dum eller? Håller inte på med jobbet. Kul, du får gå först. Vad fan var det? Alltså tänk om alla de bevis som är döda. Jag fattar inte ens död. Kolla vad häftigt. Det är skitsnyggt. Kom vi. Nej, vi går. Vill du också dra det? Nej. Vadå dra? Det är alltså, du vet, det är sådana hund. Det är som skor. Håll käft. Du har stängt det. Det ligger sådana skor. Det är skor som ligger väldigt där. Jävla labyrint. Vi går vidare upp. Vi går vidare hitåt. Uppåt kommer vi ingenstans. Jag hittar det. Jag hittar det. Jag vet inte. Precis. Sant. Jag händer hålla i det. Jag tror detta var den sista gången. Stanna. Vi går in. Fy fan. Det stannar. Det var riktigt läskigt. Släpp! Har du sett katt? Stanna tillsammans. Ja. Vad fan ska det? Vem fan var det? Men vet du vad? Det är de andra tjejerna som blir rädda. Nej, det är bra. Stanna till en sekund.
Nearby creaked open just a crack before shutting again. Strangely, none of them really reacted to it, so they just kept laughing and carrying on as if nothing happened. But as they wandered deeper inside, the fun atmosphere quickly shifted. Out of nowhere, a loud scream echoed through the building. This time, there was no ignoring it. The group erupted into nervous laughter, mixed with genuine fear, sprinting out of the building together, half terrified, but still laughing at the surreal experience. Who knows if they will ever go back again? A CCTV camera inside a tattoo studio recently captured something that left both the artists and clients stunned. In the footage, several items suddenly tumble off a bookshelf without anyone touching them, scattering across the floor. As it happens, one object even strikes a man sitting in the chair, waiting for his tattoo. He looks up in shock along with the rest of the room, clearly confused about how it happened. Despite the bizarre moment, the man was surprisingly calm about it all, decided to laugh it off, brush himself down, and go ahead with his tattoo appointment as planned. Sometimes even the strangest and most paranormal situations can't get in between a person and their tattoo. The following video took place in a kitchen, and it captured a chilling moment that left the homeowner more unsettled than ever. The camera shows a cupboard door slowly creaking open all by itself, the silence in the room making the movement feel even heavier. The person behind the camera doesn't say a word, just stands there in uneasy shock, as if waiting for more to happen. Fortunately, though, nothing else occurred. This wasn't the first time they'd witnessed such activity, and after repeated incidents, they admitted they're seriously considering selling the house altogether. Sometimes the weight of the unknown is just too much to live with, and you can't blame anyone for fleeing from paranormal threats. Ragalzu has been covered before for his unsettling encounters, and this next clip adds another layer to his story. This time he was in his kitchen, a room that looked almost too plain and uncanny, its emptiness amplifying every sound.
Sí, quiero ver. No les entiendo, perdón. ¿Querés ver? Sí, quiero ver.
He begins filming after hearing something that seemed to be speaking directly to him. At first, the words were unclear, but as he kept listening, he realized the voice was telling him to see something. Moments later, an object suddenly fell from the counter, and he captured it on camera while clearly shaken. The combination of the ghostly message and the eerie plainness of the kitchen only made the moment feel even more disturbing. Mr. Wright had set up a baby cam to keep an eye on his child, but what it recorded that night was far from ordinary.
Are you going in?
The footage shows a strange white, pale shadow moving slowly around the baby's room while the child cries in distress. At one point, the baby even stands up and stares directly at it, as if aware of the presence. The shadow drifts across the room before eventually fading away, leaving no explanation behind. According to Mr. Wright, the figure disappeared about a minute later, right as he entered the room to comfort his baby in such distressing times, though that part wasn't caught on camera. Whatever it was, the experience left him rattled, questioning if something was truly watching over his child. The nursing home where she worked reception had always had a reputation in town, the kind of place people whispered about but never openly discussed. Residents would sometimes talk about seeing people in their rooms who weren't really there, and more than one nurse had quit after hearing voices in empty hallways. The building itself was old, with long corridors and dim lighting that seemed to swallow sound, and at night it carried an atmosphere that was almost unbearable. She'd gotten used to ignoring the strange things she heard during her shifts, but deep down she knew there was something wrong with the place.
Estaba haciendo en vivo aquí en el asilo de ancianos y se estaban escuchando muchos ruidos. Y mucha gente, cuando me acercaba a la silla de ruedas, notaba que algo se miraba, algo se escuchaba. Vamos a ver la silla de ruedas. No mames. ¿Viste eso? Cuando estaba haciéndole en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí a la silla de ruedas, se cortaba, se escuchaba mucho interferencia, se escuchaban voces. Vean esto, vean. No sé si miraste cómo se movió. Cuando estaba haciéndole en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí, se cortaba. Se escuchaban demasiadas voces. A mí no me gustan las sillas de ruedas porque yo sé que ahí hay mucha energía. No hay nadie en el pasillo. Escucha. Escucharon pasos para allá. Ay. ¿Escuchan? Escucha que cerraron la puerta. No sé si escucharon la puerta. Pero aquí siempre hay actividad. Es la primera vez que veo una silla de ruedas aquí. Ponme un comentario si lograste mirar cómo se movió la silla de ruedas. Si es que viste.
In her recording, she explained that a wheelchair had been moving on its own, and as if to prove her point, it suddenly rolled backwards slowly into the middle of the hall. As the camera kept rolling, noises echoed down the corridor, unsettling and unexplainable. Moments later, a door at the far end slammed shut, even though nobody else was supposed to be on the floor. She admitted afterward that this was the first time she truly believed the stories the residents and staff had been whispering all along. And though she tried to finish her shift, she left that night shaken and swore she would never work another late shift again. Beerka and her husband had always been wary of one particular doll sitting on their shelf, a hand-me-down passed through the family that carried a strange history. It was originally gifted to her grandmother, but everyone who'd owned it since claimed it brought nothing but unease with odd noises, cold drafts, and the sensation of being watched. Beerka had always laughed it off, keeping the doll tucked away among other decorations in their living room.
Kiss? It's not a kiss, Isa. Come on, kiss.
Oh well. She tries.
In one video, her husband was filming her as she played around with their pet bird, leaning in to kiss it and laughing while the camera caught the wholesome moment. What Beerka didn't realize was that just behind her, the doll on the shelf shifted on its own, caught clearly in the frame. For extra proof, they later showed another clip of the doll, moving randomly at a different time, confirming it wasn't a coincidence. Shaken by the realization that the family heirloom might actually be cursed, Beerka has already made plans to get rid of it entirely, convinced that keeping it any longer could put her and her family in danger. Ethan had been working at the sneaker store for a couple of years and loved every minute of it. The thrill of new releases, the energy of customers hunting for the latest drops, and the small joy of arranging the shelves just right made it more than just a job. It was a passion. Most evenings were quiet, giving him time to tidy up or just enjoy the calm after a busy day. One day, while the store was completely empty, Ethan was leaning against the counter scrolling through his phone when something caught his eye on the CCTV monitor. A sneaker on one of the higher shelves suddenly toppled to the floor, clattering loudly despite no one being inside. Startled, he sprinted into the storage room for a moment to collect himself, then cautiously returned to the spot. After a few deep breaths, he picked up the sneaker and carefully placed it back on the shelf, still shaken, but trying to rationalize what had just happened. Despite the unsettling moment, Ethan's love for the job didn't waver, though he couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that lingered in the empty store. The story is easy to continue, leaving room for whatever strange encounter might happen next. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the store to begin his shift, still unsettled from the previous night. As he walked in, his eyes immediately landed on a crock lying on the floor, one that had definitely not been there when he locked up. Confused and slightly alarmed, he checked the CCTV footage from the night before. The video clearly showed the sneaker sliding off its shelf and hitting the floor, seemingly on its own, with no one else in the store. Unsure of what to do, Ethan reported the incident to his manager, explaining everything exactly as he saw it. We have no clue what happened after this interaction, but hopefully he got the help he deserves. Marty had been noticing strange things in his home for quite some time, mostly little oddities he couldn't explain. For weeks, the door to his bedroom seemed to move on its own, the handle twisting or rattling as if someone or something were trying to get in. One night, determined to finally capture it on camera, he grabbed his phone and started filming, moving around the room quickly to show that it was completely empty.
It's fucked up, look. I'm going to try and prove this time. I'm going to round the room as quick as I can and prove that no one is in this room. Hang on. How to explain that?
The door handle twisted and turned on its own, but when he stepped inside the room, there was absolutely nothing there. After reviewing the footage, Marty felt a mix of relief and unease. It was clear that whatever had been causing the door to move was real, or at least unexplainable by normal means. He started setting up extra cameras around the house to see if he could capture more activity, and kept a notebook to record the times and patterns of the occurrences. Friends and family were skeptical, but he insisted on documenting everything, hoping to eventually make sense of it. Despite the lingering fear, Marty became more cautious in his home, double-checking doors and windows, and even occasionally leaving a light on at night. The experience left him both fascinated and wary, knowing that the strange activity could return at any moment. Rosanna had been having a fairly quiet night, the kind where everything felt normal and predictable. That is, until she was woken by the sound of a baby crying. Groggy and confused, she got out of bed to check, only to find her laptop in the living room playing the crying sounds, something she hadn't opened or touched. What happened next was horrifying, so take a look.
Arrête. Arrête. Oh Dieu. C'est quoi?
Heart pounding, she followed the noise to the next room. That's when she saw it. A doll, hovering unnaturally in the air, staring at her. After locking eyes with it for a few tense seconds, the doll suddenly dropped to the floor. Shaken, Rosanna stepped into the room to get a closer look, but as soon as she did, the door slammed shut behind her, leaving her trapped in there for a moment. She later admitted that the experience left her rattled, and she began considering professional help to understand what was happening in her home. Ian is still in the abandoned theater that he has been in for several of my videos now, ghost hunting. The air felt colder than before, and the familiar creaks of the old building seemed amplified in the empty space. As he cautiously set down a still camera, a sudden mist appeared briefly on a chair, lingering just long enough to make him freeze. Moments later, another unexplained glow emerged from a different chair across the room, faint but unmistakable against the darkness. Finally, a drifting light seemed to leave the room entirely, moving toward the hall before fading out of view. Ian left the room shaken, but more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind its eerie occurrences. A man was in his bedroom late at night when the stillness of the house was broken by unsettling noises. At first, he tried to ignore it, but the sounds persisted, strange enough to make him grab his phone and start filming.
Yo eso creo. No jodas.
He followed the noise out of his room, the camera shaking slightly as he made his way through the dark hallway until he reached the kitchen. That's when it happened. Some form of shadow glided across a row of long, thin objects that were propped up inside, brushing past them with an eerie presence. Just seconds later, they all came crashing down, filling the kitchen with a loud clatter. The man froze, clearly rattled, before quickly backing out of the room. With no one else in the house, and no way to explain how a shadow could physically interact with objects, the moment left him more shaken than ever. It was yet another chilling reminder that he wasn't alone. Rojo, a ghost hunter known for chasing down some of the most unnerving locations, set his sights on a school he strongly suspected was haunted. The building had long been rumored to hold on to dark energy, and he wanted to prove it for himself. With his equipment ready and camera rolling, he stepped inside the empty halls.
Estoy solo, no hay nadie, no hay ningún carro, nomás está la mía. Si vieron, alguien pasó allá. ¿Escucharon? Oigan, miren, no sé si alcancen a ver ahí en la ventana. Ahí, que se vea algo, ¿sí ven? Ven. ¿Se alcanzan a ver la sombra?
Almost immediately, shadows began appearing, not the kind caused by flickering lights or passing cars, but movements that seemed deliberate and intelligent, which is exactly what you would expect from a spirit. Determined to follow the activity, Rojo moved toward one of the classrooms. After spotting a shadow darting across the doorway, he pushed the door open and stepped inside cautiously. Just as he entered, a chair flew to the floor with force, startling him so badly he almost dropped his camera. The empty classroom was silent again, but the message was clear. Something inside that school did not want him there. The YouTube channel Exploration Unknown, with over 160,000 subscribers, took their audience along for another chilling adventure, this time exploring the haunted house of 7 Islands. Known for its dark history and eerie legends, the house had long been on their list of must-visit places. The team was setting up their equipment when one of them began casually recording an introduction for viewers.
Wow, that is beautiful. Oh, somebody's coming out. No, it's Tim.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you ruined my moonshot, bro. Oh, man. I already got it, though. It's all good. It's beautiful, man. Okay. All right, guys. We've got the K2 meter over here in this window. We're getting things set up. All right. And then in and then here.
As he walked through the house explaining that the team was setting up, the camera panned past the staircase. At that very moment, the shadow of a pair of shadow-looking legs could be seen walking across the top of the stairs, hidden behind the banister. Nobody else was supposed to be upstairs, and the rest of the team were accounted for on the ground floor. The figure never appeared again, but the fleeting shadow was enough to leave the crew and their viewers deeply unsettled. It was one of those moments that couldn't be explained away easily, and for Exploration Unknown, it confirmed that the haunted house of 7 Islands truly lived up to its terrifying reputation. The Japanese YouTube channel Fourth Wall, with over 260,000 subscribers, is well known for capturing unsettling encounters in some of the country's most haunted places. In one of their investigations, the team had been focusing on a room on the upper floor of a notoriously eerie facility, a spot they already suspected was charged with strange energy. Standing outside in the darkness, the cameraman tilted his lens up toward the window, talking about it. But just as he panned the shot back down, something unexpected happened. In the shadows of a doorway, a figure could be seen walking past. At first glance, it looked like a person, but the mannerisms and the way it acted, detached from the environment, made it an evident ghost. Many agreed it was one of the clearest ghostly captures the channel had ever recorded. Daniel Perez had grown used to the strange happenings in his home, but instead of ignoring them, he decided it was time to finally catch something on film. He set up in his kitchen, holding his camera steady as he spoke about the spirit he was certain lived alongside him.
En la cocina me dijeron que cuando vuelva a sentir otra vez ruidos, diga unas palabras para que se vaya. Y bueno, voy a decirlas ahora. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Ay, la puta madre. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Andate de mi casa.
For a while, nothing happened, just the ordinary quiet of the house. Then, suddenly, a pot was hurled to the floor with force, clattering loudly across the tiles. Daniel jumped at the sound, but kept the camera rolling, determined to show everything as it unfolded. Moments later, one of the kitchen cupboards creaked open by itself, fast and deliberate, as if something unseen wanted to make its presence known. Daniel's clip quickly spread online, with viewers agreeing that it was far too direct to be anything but paranormal. For him, the activity was further proof that his suspicions had been right all along. His home wasn't empty, and the spirit inside clearly wanted attention. An 11-year-old girl had been insisting for weeks that her house was haunted, but her parents brushed it off as imagination. Determined to prove she was right, she waited for the next urge of activity. listening carefully until the familiar sounds returned. Camera in hand, she sprinted upstairs, ready to capture it once and for all.
You know how I told you my house is haunted? Yeah, it's happening. What should I do? Should I go in there? I don't know if I should go in there. That door closed. It's just closed. I'm gonna turn the lights on. It's opening. It's opening. Should I go in there? I'll go in there.
Nothing here. Like, what? There's nothing here. What do I do? Like, there's nothing here. But you saw that, so what should I do?
At the top of the landing, she caught clear footage of a door swinging open and slamming shut on its own, over and over, with no one nearby. Nervously, she flicked the light switch on and ran toward the room, pushing the door open to show the empty space behind it. There was nothing inside, no strings, no tricks, just a room that should have been still, but wasn't. For a girl her age, the courage to chase down the activity left viewers stunned, and for her parents, the clip was undeniable proof that she hadn't been making things up. The very next day, the girl's mother was going about her usual routine, still unconvinced, despite the strange footage her daughter had shown her the night before. But while she was tidying up, something caught her eye.
Did you hear that? Whoa. Why is that thing moving? Okay. Hello? Hello? Okay. This side of the basement always freaks me out. Hello? Oh my god. I know, I just stopped that thing.
An underwear hanger nearby began swaying back and forth on its own, slow at first, and then with more force. She stopped what she was doing and went to check it, running her hands along the octopus hanger to show there was nothing that could have been tampering with it. Puzzled, she walked around the room, softly calling out, "Hello," as if testing whether something would answer. When she turned back, the hanger was moving again, just as unnaturally as before. This time, she froze, realizing her daughter might have been telling the truth all along. The family now had more than one strange moment on tape, leaving them questioning what exactly had settled into their home. Ghost Golden Guns was relaxing in front of the TV late one night when that uneasy feeling crept back into the house. Tired of ignoring it, he called out, asking if anyone was there.
Yo, what up? Ghost Golden Guns over here, and I'm going live right now because that's why. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? What the f? What the f? Who is out? Oh my god. Oh my goodness, what the f? Hello, who is there? Oh my goodness, please stop. What the f? Please stop. Please stop. This is my house. Leave. Leave. This is my house. You're not allowed here. Leave. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness.
Almost immediately, the kitchen beside him erupted with a series of unexplainable noises and movements, far too deliberate to pass off as coincidence. He stood frozen for a moment, the weight of the situation setting in, before finally working up the courage to shout at whatever it was, demanding it to get out. Gathering himself, he walked into the kitchen with his camera still rolling. Just as he thought the activity had calmed, one of the cupboards creaked open on its own. It was the final straw for him that night. Rather than keep pushing, he turned away and decided to go to sleep, hoping that by morning the presence would be gone. For viewers, the video was another chilling sign that something inside his home wasn't finished with him yet. Dom was in his room late at night, just winding down after a long day. The house was quiet, too quiet, and he was just starting to relax when he noticed something strange. His bedroom door began opening and closing on its own. Hesitant but curious, he grabbed his camera and waited.
Guys, like, what the heck? I'm home alone right now. I'm literally like shaking right now. And my door keeps on moving by itself. There's like no windows open or nothing. And I'm definitely home alone. Like, what the? Oh my. Hello? Hello? Is anybody in here? What in the heck? Hello? I swear you bet. Hello? You better not be pranking me right now. What the hell? Oh!
The door swung shut again, and Dom quickly got up to see what could be causing it. When he looked, nothing was there. Shaken, he turned back toward the hallway, but then another door down the hall slammed closed. Heart racing, he ran over and opened it, but to his dismay, the bathroom was empty. The house was silent once more, leaving Dom unsettled and unsure of what he had just witnessed. After this, Dom said he spent the rest of the night on edge, constantly checking the doors and considering calling a paranormal expert to figure out what might be haunting his home. The next day, Dom went about his routine, relieved that nothing else had happened. He passed it off as a one-time strange occurrence and tried to convince himself the house was normal. But that night, just as the clock struck midnight, he was jolted awake by a chill running through the room. In the dim moonlight, his camera captured a shadowy figure, half hidden, peeking out from his closet. Its shape was disturbingly human, yet something about it seemed wrong, demonic even. Fear rooted him to the spot for a moment, but adrenaline pushed him to get out of bed and check inside the closet. After it vanished back into the darkness, the space was empty, leaving him shaken and unsure of what he had just witnessed. After this terrifying encounter, Dom said he spent the rest of the night too scared to sleep, constantly glancing at the closet and considering reaching out to a paranormal expert. He admitted the experience left a lingering fear that his house was far from the safe haven it once was, and he began contemplating steps to protect himself from whatever unseen presence seemed to be haunting him. Rosanna was asleep one night, peacefully as ever, when she was abruptly woken by a series of loud, piercing screams that echoed through the house. Groggy and startled, she grabbed her camera to record what was happening.
mismo.
The screams were audible first, sharp and chilling, and then her bedroom door began opening on its own. Terrified, she quickly shut it, only for it to swing open again almost immediately. Hesitant but compelled, she stepped out of the room, and that's when something even stranger appeared. A small, black blur in the bottom right corner of the camera frame. The sight was sudden and inexplicable, causing her to stumble back into her room, unsure whether what she saw was a ghost or some other unseen force blocking her path. After this, Rosanna said she felt exhausted and unnerved, unsure if she would ever understand what had visited her that night, and that the experience left her shaken well into the next day. Mykolenko, one of the most skilled ghost hunters out there, had been doing this long enough to know when a location would be bad. This time, he was searching a dark, decrepit house, hoping to secure a payout from a client who wanted proof of paranormal activity. He already suspected the place was haunted, but he didn't expect just how intense it would get.
Резко свет. Все, батарея разряжена. Только включу.
As his camera rolled, a cupboard creaked open just an inch on its own, followed moments later by a cabinet swinging fully open with no one near it. Then, almost as if whatever was in the house was trying to stop him, the battery on his motion detector suddenly died, cutting short what felt like a major paranormal surge. Mykolenko left with undeniable evidence and once again, a satisfied client who paid him in full. Subscribe because Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos. Eiji and his wife were fast asleep when a series of strange noises jolted them awake. At first, they couldn't quite make out what they were hearing, but the more they listened, the more it became chilling. It sounded almost like demonic laughter, mixed with the faint cry of a baby.
Cobalah dicek. Apa? Kan ada apa-apa.
As the camera recorded, the unsettling noises continued before the carpet covering a lamp suddenly got launched away, sending the lamp crashing to the floor. The couple froze, unsure if they should run or investigate. In the aftermath, Eiji said they barely slept that night and have since been debating whether to bring in a paranormal investigator or simply leave the house altogether. They decided against getting an expert because their budget was too low, and for the next few days, nothing out of the ordinary happened. They thought they were safe, but when Eiji went to his boxing gym, things took a terrifying turn.
Ada nyala, Cok, nggak ada orang.
While hitting the punching bag, he suddenly heard a piano playing from another building. He followed the sound and found the piano playing entirely on its own. As he searched for a possible explanation, a strange noise came from a nearby closet, eerily similar to the laugh from before, sending him running. They are now contacting a priest to deal with whatever is haunting them. Jeff was going about his usual day when he suddenly heard some clattering coming from his kitchen. Curious, he went to check it out, camera in hand.
Just sitting around here waiting for something to clean. Need something to clean. Anything over here? No, nothing in the sink there. How about over here? No, nothing there. Over here? No. People, need something to clean here. Let me take a closer look. Anything down here? No, nothing there. Alright, let me check over here. God, are you bored? Something to clean, please.
His kitchen tap was moving on its own, twisting and swiveling like it was searching for something to clean. Instead of panicking, Jeff couldn't resist joking about it, narrating the tap with silly voice lines like, "I need something to clean," and mimicking its motions. The comedic energy seemed to affect the situation. After a few more moments of playful banter, the tap stopped moving entirely, as if the spirit had been amused enough to leave. Jeff laughed it off, but remained cautious, keeping a camera nearby in case the kitchen decided to get playful again. The light-hearted approach was enough to end the encounter without needing any outside help. The following video took place in the house of Tommy Wells, and it was terrifying to say the least. He had been experiencing paranormal activity for a period as long as a month at the time of this recording, and it really was beginning to get too much. The things that this spirit was doing could not be written off as torment. This stuff was torture, and the next few videos on this channel are going to prove that, starting with today's. He and his wife set up a camera late one night to see what they would be able to capture, because they had documented their hauntings on YouTube for a while now. Fortunately, the ghost was still happy to showcase its powers in front of a camera.
I'm so glad we went and got this camcorder.
Is it working good?
Yeah, it's working real good.
Good deal. You got good color and everything?
Oh yeah, I like it.
Good deal. Might be one of the best investments we ever made, man. Wish
Oh,
I could.
yeah.
We had it in here earlier tonight with all that bullshit that's fucking going on.
Yeah, I know, we could have got it on camcorder then.
Had been awesome as shit.
Yep.
About ready to turn in and hit the bed?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the friggin' morning, probably.
God.
Look, listen.
What is that, baby?
God damn, we ain't going
Oh,
to
shit.
bed yet. God damn it. Hold on, Jerry, real quick. Watch out.
Okay.
I'll be straight back, baby.
Okay. Oh, shit!
What is it?
It's that noise.
Get out here with me. Come on. Jerry!
Where's Jerry?
Jerry! It's lights out. Get over here, man! Take it easy. What the fucking thing going on?
I don't know. I really don't know. What the hell was that? What was that?
That sounded like that pit bull got scared right there. We were out there raising hell. Just come with me and see what. Who the hell's in here? I'll check on Jerry. Can't see if he's call him or something. Get him on the phone or something. Call him. He ain't over here yet.
This time, its most prominent showing was playing the piano, and you could tell it's been able to play this thing for years. Unfortunately, this was not the time for piano fun though, because it creeped the living hell out of the woman and Tommy. The most frightening part about all of this though, is that it is only the beginning and a long, treacherous night is ahead of them. Subscribe so you do not miss Tommy's future appearances on Haunter. A man was relaxing in bed watching TV, the room dimly lit and calm as he ironically filmed the film on the television. He'd been feeling uneasy for days, claiming small things in his room would be moved when he wasn't looking. Wanting to capture anything strange, he began filming.
Loco, estaba durmiendo, me acaba de levantar, loco, estoy cagado de las patas. Fuera de joda me puse en alabanza, amigo. Estaba durmiendo y de ahí arriba... Mirá, boludo. No lo puedo creer. Necesito, boludo.
As he pans the camera toward his wardrobe, a box perched high up suddenly slides forward, pushing a can from the very top. The can bounces off the edge, and after bouncing somehow, landing upright on the floor, in full view of the camera, the man audibly gasps, his breathing sharp as he realizes what just happened. The clip cuts with him still holding the phone toward the wardrobe, the camera shaking slightly, as though he didn't know whether to get up or stay put. People online said the way the can landed upright added an extra layer of unease, making it feel impossible for the moment to be a coincidence. The following clip opens with bad quality footage under warm, dim lighting, giving everything a slightly grainy and uneasy look. The person behind the camera is slowly panning around the entrance of their house, trying to capture the full view as if they were documenting something already unsettling. If you pay close attention, just by the door frame, a pair of faint, ghostly legs can be seen walking past. They were transparent and slow, as though whoever it was wasn't fully there. The figure vanishes just as the camera tilts slightly, making it hard to catch, unless you pause at the right moment. Fortunately, the person behind the camera noticed, and the family is currently arguing whether it was a trick of the light or genuine proof of a spirit lingering in the home. Either way, the combination of the bad camera quality and the warm lighting made the moment feel even more surreal and haunting. Who knows what will happen next for the family? Sierra had just bought a new home, one with a reputation for being haunted, and decided to film a vlog about fixing it up. Alone that day, she climbed a ladder to start some small renovations, her back to the camera.
How did you... How did you get out there?
Okay, let's try this again.
A few moments later.
There's no way that this is a thing. I don't think you understand. There is zero way that she could unlock that, open it, shut it, and lock it. How are you doing this?
Midway through her work, she suddenly heard the sound of something sliding across the floor, followed by what unmistakably sounded like a door shutting. Confused, she grabbed her camera and walked toward the noise, finding her dog waiting anxiously outside the door. She let him back in, but his behavior was off, and he seemed tense and unsettled, staring at the door as if something was still on the other side. Trying to shrug it off, Sierra set the camera back up and climbed back onto the ladder to continue filming. Moments later, the same sequence of noises happened again. The strange part was how the door had clearly opened, shut, and locked, without her or her dog near it. And with her dog being so small, there was no chance he could have done it. Whatever was happening seemed to be tied to the house itself, leaving Sierra visibly shaken as she tried to keep filming for proof. With the unsettling incidents piling up, Sierra decided to set up additional cameras around the house to see if she could capture anything else happening when she wasn't holding the phone. In one of the new clips, her sister and fiancé were in the nursery they were preparing for their upcoming baby, decorating the room and chatting quietly.
Oh, where did you get that? On the paper. Oh my god. What was that? I don't know.
A few moments later.
Out of nowhere, the nursery door slammed shut hard enough to rattle the walls. Both of them froze, staring at the door, before her sister cautiously opened it again and stepped out into the hallway to look for any possible cause. There was no draft, no loose hinges, no one else in the house. Trying to shake it off, they went back to work. But shortly after, while her sister was stepping into another room to grab something, the nursery door slammed again with the same force, startling them all over again. By this point, even Sierra's family was beginning to believe something was wrong with the house. She later explained on social media that everyone had agreed to stop working in the rooms alone, and the nursery remained unfinished. They were already discussing whether to bring in a professional investigator or even abandon the renovation plans altogether. A shaky video begins with a man sounding clearly frightened as he walks slowly toward his sitting room, breathing abnormally heavily while recording. The camera pans across the hallway before reaching the doorway, where the floor is littered with torn-up paper as though someone had scattered it everywhere.
Sí.
Once inside the sitting room, he films around nervously, the dull Christmas tree in the corner, adding an eerie contrast to the mess on the floor. Tiny orbs drift across the frame, faint but visible against the warm lights, making the atmosphere feel even heavier. As he sweeps the camera around, a faint female voice can be heard somewhere behind him. He spins around instantly, but there's nobody there, only silence and the sound of his breathing. He is desperate to escape, and the video ends as he walks out of the room, still filming ahead of him. He later posted the clip online, asking viewers if they could figure out what the paper might have been or why it was all over the floor. A mother received a ring notification at 10 p.m. and, thinking it might be her husband outside, opened the app to check the live footage. Instead of easing her mind, though, what she saw made it impossible to sleep. At first, everything looked normal. Their driveway lit faintly, her husband's Porsche parked near the sliding door. But then she noticed something impossible, the faint image of a little girl in a dress standing perfectly still, just behind the glass. The girl's outline was clear, not a reflection or a trick of the light, and she wasn't moving or reacting at all. For several seconds, the figure remained, frozen in place like it was watching. Then, without warning, the girl's shape slowly faded and seemed to dissolve back into the shadows, leaving only the darkness. The mother later said she replayed the footage dozens of times and still couldn't explain what she'd seen, and she's now convinced something unnatural is around her home. The mother decided to film an update in response to all the comments she'd received about the ring footage. In her video, she stood exactly where she had been that night, next to the sliding door, and panned her phone to show the area outside.
Okay, so this is the area, the door that it was like standing inside.
We don't have anything or keep anything in this area because it's a walkway and it would be really awkward. And then this is where the security camera is. So when I looked at the footage, I expected to see a person. I didn't expect to see that though.
She explained that nothing is usually kept near the door. No statues, no decorations, no children's toys, nothing that could have caused the shape people were seeing. She then showed the camera itself, still mounted in the same position it had been during the original recording, to prove she hadn't moved it or staged anything. To make her point even clearer, she recreated the moment on camera, standing where the figure would have been, to show the height and angle were completely wrong for any reflection. Watching her run through the explanation only made the footage seem more chilling, because there really didn't seem to be a normal way to explain what had been captured that night. The Dark, an Arabic ghost hunter who gets paid to investigate haunted places, has been covered here before. But for you new viewers, he's known for boldly walking into some of the most terrifying facilities with nothing but a flashlight and a camera. In one of his more recent explorations, he was moving steadily through a crumbling building, his light sweeping across the eerie halls.
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. حصنت نفسي بلا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
His tone was confident at first, but things took a turn when he suddenly stepped on something that crunched loudly beneath his feet, breaking the silence. Almost immediately after, a deep sliding sound echoed through the building. He spun around to see a massive storage unit slowly dragging itself across the floor. Whispering religious phrases under his breath, he steadied the camera and walked toward it. But just as he did, another unit on the opposite side began sliding in the other direction, followed by yet another further down. The sheer force of whatever was moving them was undeniable. What shocked many was his bravery. Rather than running, he pushed forward into the darkness, determined to document every second. For the continuation of this story, make sure you subscribe to me, because it only gets more intense from here.